I love that intro so much. Do you remember where you were back in, Jesus Christ, 2007? Do you remember where you were over 10 years ago? Me, 10 years ago? I was watching OG Derek Gerard in grade A under A. Hey, this is editing me here. Okay, so I actually got this wrong because 10 years ago, as of recording this, was like 2013, 2014, not 2017. I don't know what I was thinking of because I started watching them when they were like super popular during like 2015 to 2017. It'd be more accurate for me to say I was watching like Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, and Smosh. Anyway, bye-bye. I didn't get a PS4 till like 2017, and at that point I was thinking like, it's too late. I might as well wait for the PS5. Yeah, I didn't know what I was thinking. The point of saying all of that is I was still rocking the PS2 and playing amazing games. Need for Speed games specifically, because I was like really big into cars when I was like 2 years old till now, year old. I was rocking the Underground series. COD Big Red 1. Ooh, that game is amazing. Metal Gear Solid, Most Wanted, Carbon, and Prostreet. The order of when I had these games are weird because I had Underground 2 first and then Prostreet. Yeah, I never played Underground or Most Wanted or Carbon until like my early teenage years. I remember playing Prostreet when I was like 7 years old or something, and I somehow lost it. A few years later, I was like, I want to play Prostreet because I knew I had the game, but I didn't know where it was. And I was watching Addiction to Gaming. I don't know if he still makes videos, but I loved watching like all his Need for Speed videos. I don't know why. Ugh, I just love Need for Speed, Black Box era. These days, Unbound is doing good things, but it's not good to me. I always played on the battle machines, like with the S13 and the Volkswagen, like the Volkswagen battle machines, because I didn't know how to progress the game. I had a CRTV till like 2015 or something, and the TV is lifted with this little thing. I still have it. Let's go check. It's this thing. I don't know what this thing is called.
Ew! What an interesting artifact.
It's a cabinet or something. You could put like, or I would put the PS2 here, and there'd be the cable boxes up there and be like an old ass VHS player that like we never used. We threw it out. I don't know what these are called. TV stands or something? I don't know. There's baby pictures. Okay, anyway, under that, there was the Prostreet disc. That's where the disc was hiding. Before the floor was wood, there was carpet. So I like pushed on the carpet really hard to fish the disc out. I for sure thought the disc was broken. It still worked fine and I beat the damn game. Alright, so a little bit of context for those who don't know. This game was made by Black Box a year after Carbon. They split the Black Box team into two. One was working on Prostreet and one was working on Undercover. I don't know why they couldn't just work on one game together. EA is just dumb like that. It was the turn of the console generation, so maybe that's why they wanted to push out a PS3 game, like when it releases. When does Prostreet have a PS3 release? I'm gonna search this up right now. It did have a release for a PS3, so why did they split the team into two? This is when Need for Speed was a yearly series. I don't know why they thought changing the formula was a good idea, but I mean, I'm not complaining. This game is amazing. After the high of Most Wanted and Carbon, they wanted to try something different. Race days. This is basically street racing but legal. There's drag, grips, drift, time attacks, everything. This game is extra awesome because of the...
Guys are getting their feelings hurt this weekend, and Ryan Cooper is doing the hurt.
If you guys don't know about this game, it's basically sanctioned race days like Forza Horizon, but not so family friendly. Even the intro of the game, it's a lot more edgy than the other games. I feel like it was cool to be edgy around this time. I mean, whenever you're like a teenager, it's cool to be edgy. I mean, just look at this.
All right, nice. Ryan Cooper's here, and he's running a new Evo 10. It looks like they just peeled the plastic off the seats. They did a total redesign on those for the 10, so let's see if he can keep it in good condition.
There's people hanging out around cars, sexy chicks posing around the cars. Yup, real sexy. The DJ is talking to the crowd and emceeing not good music.
All right, nice. Ryan Cooper's here, and he's running a new Evo 10.
I mean, just look at the charm of this game. There's two cars in the background giving a smoke show for the crowd. It's like the devs actually went to sanction the race events. They really got that atmosphere of these racing events down. When you're in the middle of the race and you're rushing through, you can hear the crowd like whiz right by you, and you can hear the MC emceeing. You must be sucking off the MC because he's always rooting for you no matter what.
Ryan Cooper. What's everybody saying about Ryan Cooper? But Ryan Cooper's Cooper. My man Ryan Cooper. Ryan Cooper. Ryan Cooper. Get out of Ryan Cooper's car. Ryan Cooper.
Unless it's like the Kings, then he starts meat riding off the Kings. But for like the whole game, he meat rides you. Unless it's like I think there's only two instances I remember. It's Paul Trusk, I think, and Ivan Travoski. He meat ride them too, but he meat rides you the most. How this game goes is the first match is you kicking ass with your S13. And then the game starts to give you a 3-lap grip race, and you continue throughout your career through like race days. Obviously, there's these races where the organization supplies you with a car and everyone is on an even playing ground. The game is really dependent on skill. The game in general is really dependent on skill. I had the S13 till like the second or third major race day, and it says like your BHP. I don't know what BHP is. I keep saying it's brake horsepower, but that makes no sense. It's really low, but like you can still beat their ass if you're good at racing. I don't know where the cap is because I bought my WRX once I feel like I wanted a new car, and I was kicking their ass. I was like 50 seconds ahead. I don't know if I just upgraded earlier or something, or I'm just that good at racing games. This game really has a unique charm because you really don't see games where you're in sanctioned race events. I mean, Heat and Grid did these type of events, but it's not the same as Pro Street. Pro Street is on its own level. This game is full to the brim with details. This is a car enthusiast's game. If you are a car enthusiast, this game is for you. The sound design. The customization. The car designs, the vibes, the everything. Like, look at this. Your car shakes from redlining. What other game you know does this? I think Heat brought this back, but it wasn't exaggerated as it is like in this game. And I think that heat is like an amalgamation of all the games combined. No wonder I like heat so much. Even the engine sounds, like just listen. God damn. The engine sounds make me want to cream. Even though most of these sounds are from like I would say Underground 2, but I mean they're good back then, so they're still good now. The car sounds actually sounds like how they do in real life. Like the Supras, the muscle cars, Porsches, Skylines, Beamers, everything. Obviously, not every single car will sound like how it does in real life, but like come on. The transmission even grinds when you don't shift, like... What game do you know does this? I have the answer. No game does this. So when you get further in the game, the acceleration is crazy because it feels like 0 to 60 is like 0.2 seconds. It's so cool. The tire smoke is also super realistic. When you see smoke in other games, it's like nothing reacts to it. It's not smoke, it's more like mist. In this game, oh my god, I could just feel my asthma getting worse from this burning rubber. Like, look at the smoke. It literally wraps around the tires like it would in real life. I don't think CarX does this. CarX Drift Racing. I mean, I don't know. I turned off tire smoke since I literally can't see others when I'm tandeming. Now, I don't know how real this re-grip your tires before a drag race is, where you burn out for a smoke show. I feel like, wouldn't this make your tires less grippy because, you know, you're burning them out? I can see how warming up your tires can make them more grippy, but this goes on for like a solid minute, so I don't know. The damage in this game is crazy. It's not BeamNG levels of damage, but it's like really good. Probably more than most games would show these days. And the damage actually changes the gameplay because it affects how your cars handle. Light damage not so much because it's mostly cosmetic. I mean, you might have trouble doing a few turns, but I mean, it's not that much. The game is already hard to turn because of the controls, but we'll get to that later. But heavy damage can make or break your race because if your car is messed up enough, then your car will like struggle to get back up to the normal speed you had. It's not in the best performance, and it's just, wow, amazing. Like bumpers flying off, spoilers flying off, the hood engine flying, even the side mirrors fall off, like it just completely falls off. The sense of speed is ridiculous as well. I don't know how real this is. I mean, I feel like this obviously isn't that real, but who knows? I don't know about real life races, but it feels like your car is about to take off. Just look at the speedometer. How do you go 200 miles and still be able to turn? There's actually a sense of danger when driving because, you know, one wrong turn and you become a victim. And this actually ties into the gameplay, and it's not just for show. Even the turbo sounds are amazing. The turbo even sounds different depending on which brand you choose. The MC even comments on the cars you bring into the race day.
Ryan Cooper's been really on point today, and he's in a Subaru WRX STI, otherwise known as the Subi. It runs a flat 4 turbo, which makes them nothing but quick, and they sound hard as nails. Seriously though, you gotta ask, How many fix-it tickets do you think we're looking at? I gotta hand it to him, though. He still runs it as his daily driver. Much respect, homie.
Like, he actually knows what he's talking about. He's not just a paid contractor. I mean, he is, but, you know, he still likes cars. He even comments on the type of car I bring into the event because, as anyone would, who the brings a muscle car into a drifting event? The only person I can think of is Satan, and that's it.
Well, okay, we're going sideways in a GT. I tell you, this is not what I would have chosen, but come on, let's let him try. Okay, hold on. It's a dream car, but this won't offer many chances to showcase that GT. Can he even initiate a drift in that? I think it's going to be fun to see him try. He's going to... Oh, hang on, wait! Well, a lovely car, but that Ford GT is a perplexing choice. They're not known for drifting, and there's a good reason for that.
Like, look at this one, too.
Born in the USA, like a rock, we got a bow tie now. 2 Chevys. Yo, this one's going to be like a hurricane going up against an earthquake.
He says something like, look at these boat side rocks or something. Look at these 2 Chevys. This is such a specific line, and yet they thought to add it to the game. If this isn't the most car enthusiast game, then I don't know what is. This game doesn't have much body customizations like the games predecessing it, but the decals, dynos, engine parts, they're all there. The dynos actually change how your car races, like Underground 2. But this is really fleshed out because you can really get to the nitty gritty of the dynos, like suspension, shift times, gear lengths. You can really get the most out of your car with the dynos. This is the second time that autoscope was put into the game, and when you autoscope, the shape of everything actually affects the aerodynamics of your car. Now this doesn't affect me because I put everything at 100 because Wang Gang.
Hey, settle down, people, settle down. You guys are just way too rowdy today.
This is probably why the game has such middling reviews. There's no cops, it's not your typical illegal street racing, no ricing. I mean, you can race, but it's not the same as past games. None of the stuff like that. The racing is really different in this game. Your car is really weighty, and the turning is snappy. I don't know like how snappy it is. I used mods because, you know, mods make everything better. I can see why no one likes the racing in this game, because I don't really like the driving physics either, but you can definitely get used to it. It's not such an issue. There are around 6 to 7 types of racing. Grips, time attacks, sector shootouts, group races, drifting, drag, wheelie competitions. Speed challenges, and I think top speed run something. I don't remember either. Alright, let's start with the grippies. Grip races are just circuits. Time attacks are the same as grips, but you start staggered and the person with the fastest time wins, obviously. Sector shootouts are basically time attacks, but with different sectors of when the time ends. You pass these sectors, and when you do, you get points, and the person with the most points wins. But the slower you go past, the less points you get, and vice versa. The group races, these races are like team death matches where you race in the class you're in, class A's and class B's, but you're still versing everyone. I mean, not really everyone, but you're versing your class while some other class races with you. It's like they ran out of time and they just want to get as many races in. Like, I don't see the point in this. These are all group races, but they're just a little different. Now, drifting. I love drifting in games. Underground 2, great. Underground, Most Wanted's not, there's no drifting, but when you hit the time button and you drift, ooh, carbon drifting is not good. I don't like it. It's super slippery. And with this, I hate the drifting in this game. It is so bad. The drift physics in this game is awful. Same with carbon. Since I love drifting in like Underground 2, Underground. Okay, so you initiate the drift and you have to counter steer to continue to drift. You know, like how drifting is. But it's super on rails. the game takes a lot of control away from you when drifting. It's like basically the game puts an arbitrary rail system around corners and you just counter steer, and it sometimes just doesn't work. You straighten up during a corner and you just mess up all your points. It's so bad. Back in the underground games, drifting wasn't really realistic, but it's fine. You just throw your car in and it grips up. You know how the drifting is. Once you play one, you know how drifting is. But in this game, you gain points from speed and angle of the drift. I don't know about you, but when you have a lot of hours in underground and other drifting games, you got a feel for it and know how drifting should be in a game. Like once you start first event with drifting, you should know. Like in the crew, the drifting's okay. It's just super slippery and you don't counter steer. That is one main thing. It's counter steer. Let me counter steer. I mean, this game is way better than like Heat and Unbound's drifting, but it's not that much better. I do enjoy it when I get into the groove. I do enjoy the drifting when I like get into a groove. The drifting is fun, but god, the controls are awful. Maybe I'm just bad at drifting and everyone else likes it, but I don't know. The reviews are showing otherwise. Next up is drag races. These drag races are amazing. The sense of speed and just leaving your opponent in the dust is so satisfying. When I played this game, I never realized that you start in neutral and you have to shift up to actually start racing. In previous games, drags, you just put your line in green and the game auto shifts you to first, and then you manually shift on from there on. In Prostreet, you do the same thing, but you have to shift into first yourself. They probably did this because you can get DQ'd from the race for false starting. Drag races are badass and I love it. Next up are wheelie competitions, baby. I love wheelie competitions. They're the same as drag, but you goddamn wheelie your car. I never knew that you could actually wheelie your car in real life, which is hilariously awesome. Like, look at these. You gain air. Do you understand how heavy a car is? They're like, I don't know how heavy a car is. I'm gonna guess a ton or two. And the horsepower and the grip from the back of the wheels can just lift that whole car up. It's ridiculous. This mode is pretty gimmicky. Once your car starts like falling from the wheelie, you just put in some nitro and you can wheelie straight to the finish line. Next are the speed races. I'm gonna put these two together because they are grip races, but you raced at like aircraft speeds. The speed challenges are just grip races, but you average like 200 miles and try not to die. The top speed runs are basically toll booth races from Most Wanted and Carbon. You go under these tent things with the fastest speed you can, and boom, the person with the fastest speed wins. Fastest accumulative speed. The maps do get repetitive because it's the same few maps over and over and over again. It's not such an issue because there are enough maps that have them like different enough. Like there's Nevada, Japan, I think Seattle. I think that's it. But it's different enough. Like the tracks are different. It's just the same 3 or 4 different locations. I mean, it makes sense because it's organizations setting up these sanctioned races and they aren't going to have like a million different places to race, but like, come on. It's a game. So when you progress in the game, this UI thing pops up like a road map. Like it's literally a road map. It's a map on the road. I don't know why, but it fits perfectly with the game. You basically progress by doing these race days, and you can keep doing these until you've reached the race weekends. This is when organizations come in and give you cars to race, like the battle machines. So the main objective of the game is that you have to show down these kings. You have to face Ray Krieger, Nate Denver, Carol Monroe, Aki Kumura, and Rio Wannabe. Once you actually get to that point in the game, you basically outclass all of their cars. You can beat them easily. You get a pink slip for their cars, but at this point, they're ass because yours are already way better. But it is nice to have them. I understand all the cars that these guys choose, like Ray Krieger has the Beamer, Aki Kumura has the RX-7,
Carol Monroe has the super muscle Mustang, but what I don't understand is the Speed King. How is this GTO muscle boy the Speed King? I think that, I don't know, a supercar or a hypercar would be better for a Speed King, but it's whatever, they're ass anyway, once you actually do face them. Anyway, you beat Rio and the game ends. Kinda anticlimactic, but games like these don't need it.
Showdown Chicago, and this is Super Promotion. We've invited the best street racers from the Battle Machine, and they're going to be brawling to take their race game global.
There's almost a non-existent story in this game, and I'm fine with that since, you know, it's a racing game. It's not like racing games really need stories. I'd rather have no story than a story that's unneeded. But there is some resemblance of a story, so let's just get on with it. You're Ryan Cooper and you're a former street racer. There's a theory that you're the racer from the Underground series, Most Wanted and Carbon, but there's literally no evidence to support this theory, so yeah, I don't care. Anyway, you're a former illegal street racer, and you move your way into legal sanctioned street races to take down the Showdown King, Ryu Wannabe.
Guy won, but he did not look pretty behind the wheel. It physically pained me to watch that guy drive, you know what I'm saying?
If you want to know why I keep mistaking his name, is because he's a dickhead, because obviously you need an antagonist in a story. But he's written like a wet paper towel, useless and an asshole. He doesn't like you just because his ego is so high, and the thought of anyone better than him is not even a thought in this kid's mind.
Cooper's coming up, I'm saying.
Can our writers at least put more effort into these antagonists? Like, he's a dickhead for no reason. Like, come on, at least give me an incentive to beat his puny ass besides he doesn't like us. And I know you're probably gonna say,
Oh, they did a good job writing him.
I'm annoyed because he's just there. Like, he just doesn't like you because he doesn't like you. Give me an incentive. Give me a reason why I don't like him and he doesn't like me. Maybe we are friends. He beat me in a race, which turned me into illegal street racing. And now I've come to legal street racing to beat his ass. You know, something like that. It doesn't have to be super deep, but give me something. Like, he's just an asshole for no reason. And there are very little cutscenes in this game. It's just showing off the cars and celebrating, and that's it.
Super Promotion. We've invited the best street racers from the Battle Machine, and they're going to be brawling to take their race game global. Rio has put together the absolute best driver, and Apex Squad is the top team today. And Check Tank is the fastest street legal car in America. Oh, now look, she's putting out a little burnout show for us. How about that? Check out all that smoke.
So, in conclusion, this game is criminally underrated, and went off the highs of Most Wanted and Carbon. The fans were waiting for another illegal cop races, but Black Box did a complete 180 and did legal sanctioned races with no cops. I mean, it worked out, but the majority of people did not like this change, even though it did work out. I love this game. This game is like one of my top 5 most favorite racing games. Just the Black Box games are my favorite. Even the skate games are my favorites. Black Box continue on to make Undercover and The Run, and I feel like at this point, you know how bad these games are and how EA does what EA does good and completely mutilate companies if they don't do well enough. Hopefully they stop being so anti-consumer and let devs make single-player games that are fun and not money machines. I feel like they're learning with Respawn, but I don't know, EA just loves money. I hope and pray to God that Larian has made a statement that you can be one of the most profitable games out there by just making a good game. Jesus, I hate these big corporations where big profits are number 1 and customer satisfaction is number like 56. God, I miss Black Box and the old school Need for Speed games. Anyway, I need to play Dark Souls and get the Elden Ring DLC because I didn't even finish it yet, but God, school and work does not mix. They do not work out together with me making YouTube videos. Also, tell me in the comments if you'd like me to continue playing Dark Souls or just let me finish the game and I'll make the video essay with all the From Software games. Anyway, I hope you enjoy and see you whenever I finish another game/video.